On Friday, January 9th in Baltimore, a group of students from a local high school staged a walkout and occupied the school board headquarters, demanding increased student input on issues surrounding negative police interactions with young people, as well as what they call an irrelevant, outdated curriculum.
The school board should be accountable to a student congress as well as student bodies they are representing by making decisions by running policy options past the students. And 3, we want the 2015 school budget to allocate more funding for programs to help students take ownership of their education. We also believe that the programs that are part of the 2015 budget need to be targeted directly towards the schools most in need.
Michaela Gilliam Price, a lead organizer and student at Baltimore City College High School, spoke about how student input is important for developing young people to be active citizens.
Kids don't have ownership of their education. They're not choosing what they want to learn. They're not learning anything that they need to know, which means that once they graduate, they're not ready to be active participants. They're ready to be scholars in an ivory tower in some white institution, and that's not what we need today. We need kids who are willing to be engaged in politics, who are willing to provide whatever they need for their people.
This demonstration is one of many that have recently been led by students in protest of the state of Baltimore's public schools. Students from Heritage High School and the Baltimore Algebra Project, a youth-led tutoring organization, led an action in early December demanding that school board officials renegotiate their decision to close the East Baltimore High School. Both groups of students linked their protests to the string of national unrest over the killing of unarmed black people like Michael Brown and Eric Garner.
There's been a lot of momentum and power around the Ferguson protest as well as the Eric Garner non-indictment. And we just wanted to make the connection between what's been going around the country to the students in Baltimore. So we marched today with the theme of we're marching against the school-to-prison pipeline. We wanted to give students ownership of their education so that their studies can be relevant, so that they don't have to turn to a life of crime. This also means that we don't want police confronting students on a day-to-day basis, treating them as criminals, so that they then eventually fall into the mold of being criminals. And a lot of our demands were shaped around implementing restorative justice within the school system so that kids aren't going directly to the police officers if they don't have to. It's more of a school board, let's work it out in the community. And I think this is just a microcosm for what we need to be doing in society. We do not need to be turning our youth, or anyone for that matter, over to the police officers if they do not have to. We need to be solving our issues in our communities. We need to be building institutions in our communities to handle these issues ourselves.
The students demanded a meeting with City School CEO Gregory E. Thornton. The CEO was out of town, therefore unable to meet with students, but sent a message through his staff which promised them that a citywide listening tour would be conducted to hear students' grievances and develop solutions to the issues at hand.
The district supports community involvement in the strengthening families and education of our young leaders. We also understand this is a critical moment across the country where young people feel disenfranchised and their voices largely ignored. We want to encourage constructive dialogue among students, parents, faculty, and district leadership, not only by committing meeting with students, but to partner to help identify solutions, and to also conduct a citywide listening tour so that we may hear from students all across the city.
While that was an amazing step in the right direction, it's not at all what we came to, right? The dialogue is not enough. It will never be enough. And what they have failed to realize in every meeting that we have had prior to this is that voice is extremely different from having power. We as students want power. Our voices have been heard. We have been yelling at the top of our lungs in a room, and you're still trying to be silenced. Do not let them pacify us. Do not let them shut us up and say, this is enough, this is all we're going to do. Listening to our once is not what we came here for. We came here to no longer be intimidated by police. We came here to fight against the school and prison pipeline. And we came here to have power and representation within this building, and we did not get that today.
Student leaders were not satisfied with the response and continued their protests further onto North Avenue, where they eventually blocked traffic and one student supporter was arrested. They later told us in a statement that City Block is excited to be working with the Office of Engagement at City Schools to begin increasing student involvement in the decision-making process at North Avenue. We know that neither the students or the district can do this alone, and we will be drafting a new framework through which students can voice their concerns. The Real News will continue to cover this story as it develops. This is Megan Sherman reporting with the Real News Network.